right, guys, this is going to be the recording for Traits and Reproduction 3.2. You can see that the homepage is right here. And we are coming close to wrapping up Traits and Reproduction. So we only have a couple lessons left until we're going to take our unit test. So make sure you're kind of paying attention that the end is near for this unit. And we will be coming up to our test. And when you click on the home page, you're going to see that first gross picture. You're welcome. We have our assignment right here. The other thing that we did first was went over the definitions for sexual reproduction and inherit. And those were two terms that we kind of went over in 3.1. And they are the last two terms that you're going to add to your notebook. And so if you can open your notebook up and then go to the chapter 3 homepage, I believe it's like slide 14, it's toward the very end. And then these two definitions will be the last two that you add, if ever they want to load. So here is the definition for sexual reproduction. So that is the process in which two parents pass on their genes to create offspring. So that is the process of fertilization, sperm and egg, all of that to pass on those genes. And then the other definition you're going to add is inherit. An inherit is to receive genes from a parent. So add both of those in your notebook. And then the page for, oops, I'll have to fix that. The page for the notebook will be down there. And then here's our assignment. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to open up the simulation, and it's hyperlinked right here for you. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to meet a female and male spider, and you can pick any one. So you'll see once you click, green circles will pop up around the ones that you can mate with. And so you just click and put them on top of each other, create reproductive cells down here. And then you watch the separation. So we have our sperm cells, our egg cells, and then fertilize, which is when they come together. And there are offspring. And then you're going to pick one feature, any one but body color. You're not going to do body color because that is one that will be covered later. And so here is my two parents and my offspring. What you're going to do is you're going to put which female spider you chose, which male, and then you'll go through these questions. What feature did you focus on? What was the female's trait for that feature, the male's trait for that feature, and all of that. When it comes down to here, when you are looking at the offspring and how the offspring compare to the parents, what I want you to look at is if they have the same, if it's different. So example, I did Greg and Zora here, and Greg stuns and Zora has no venom. And so I can see that all 4 of my babies stun. So I would say that all of the offspring have the same trait as the father, and none of them have the same trait as the mother. So that would be, and then the gene versions, you can see V2, V2, V3, V3. I see that some of them have V3, but that is obviously overcome by the stunning trait here. And we'll talk more about dominant and recessive traits here in a couple lessons, but that is kind of the idea that sometimes there's a trait that overtakes another. So you'll kind of go through that and fill that out. And then down here we have another activity with the simulation, but this time is more specific, meaning it gives 2 of the spiders and it wants you to choose body color this time. So I'm going to go and I'm going to refresh up here. And I'm going to choose, so it's Otis and Ann mating, and it wants body color. I can see Otis has the trait for brown, and then Ann has colorless. And then the gene version, so Otis is C1, C3, and Ann is C3, C3. And looking at the activity down here, you can see that there is a spot to put that, so the gene versions in the tree. And then you're going to mate them and you're going to put the information about their offspring. So create reproductive cells, fertilize, and here are your offspring. Yours might look different than mine because not the same combinations don't happen every time. It's like rolling a dice. You're not going to get the same number of combinations every time. So you're going to see that we have colorless, brown, brown, colorless. And so you want to look at each trait, so colorless and then C3, C3. And so you're going to look at each one of those and you're going to look at what gene came from Otis, what gene came from Ann, what the version is, and traits. So looking at offspring 1, I saw it was C3, C3 for the gene version, and then its trait was colorless. And so the first one is usually from the male, and then the second one is from the female. So Otis gave C3, and so did Ann. And then for the spider 2, Otis gave C1 and Ann gave C3. And so that, because remember, each parent passes down one gene version, and then the combination is what makes that trait. And then the last thing for today is there is a quick reading right here about cicadas, which is something that you should be familiar with. Those are a very common thing around Kentucky. I had no idea what they were until I moved here. And so there's a quick reading and there's 2 questions. It's a kind of interesting little reading. And that is what this image is. This gross little image right here is a cicada. So that's why I put that there for today. But that is all. So make sure you go through the simulation, look at the reading, answer the 2 questions, and that's it for 3.2.